here with us. I'm going to do just a quick intro about Ray. So he travels nationally answering questions or drug questions with middle school through college age students, as well as parents, teachers, and community groups. So he's been speaking professionally since 1990. He has the ability to keep his information updated, relevant, and entertaining. He is also a certified drug prevention specialist and drug and alcohol counselor for the state of California. Ray loves answering drug questions, so his presentation is very interactive. So be prepared for questions, and he said that he's going to leave about the last 10 minutes for questions as well if you guys have questions for him. So let's have a warm welcome for author, speaker, and frequent flyer, Ray Lozano.
Wow, good evening, everybody. How are you tonight?
Pretty good.
Thanks for being here. I tell you, anytime my wife says we have to go to an event like this, I turn into like a kid that's got to eat broccoli. I'm like, no, I don't want to. Don't make me go. You know. And my wife's like, yeah, but you're the speaker. I'm like, I'll find somebody. So thank you so much. I know how it is being out here, you know, or after work and then coming out and hearing some speaker talk. But I appreciate being out here. Thank you so much, Abby. Wonderful introduction and all that this evening. And so my presentation is normally geared towards junior high and high school students. So if all of you keep staring at me the way you are, it really messes me up. So if some of you can get on your phone and text or listen to music or, you know, whatever you got to do, please do it. So yeah, perfect, man. Just start looking at memes and stuff. That'll help me, yeah. So stop paying so much attention, so yeah. But my name is Ray Lozano. I do get to travel all across the nation talking to kids about drugs and alcohol, even internationally now, which has become a big deal for me. So I love that. I'm going to be out in Sweden for a while, doing a whole bunch of stuff out there and just, you know, talking with kids. And you'll see my presentation tonight because I love being able to present the way that I do because I know how many of you have ever gone to those presentations and you're like, this is great information, but I don't know what to do with it, and most of it's over my head. And so I try to give you information that you can walk out the door and present. So I don't have any fancy slides. All my slides you're going to be seeing tonight are hand-drawn. If you want to record this, put it on YouTube, still all the information, knock yourself out, because what I want to do is be able to get as much information out there to kids as we possibly can. Real interactive. So I'm going to be asking you questions, fun questions, dumb questions, serious questions, all that kind of stuff. And so don't be afraid to ask me questions. But my background, just a little bit about my background. I come from a non-use background, so I've never really been drunk. You know, I've had a couple beers before, and I've never smoked weed or did anything like that because I came from a family that was crazy when it came to drugs and alcohol. And so I'm the baby of the family. Between me and my sister, 7 years. Between me and my brothers, 14 years. And between me and my oldest brother, 17 years. So when I was 5, my oldest brother was 22. Now when I talk to people before and I've asked them, or kids, you know, what's your first memory? Kids will tell me, oh, having an ice cream with my dad, or jumping in a pool, or falling off a bike. Here's my first memory as a kid growing up in this crazy house. 5 years old, I'm hot, I'm tired, and I'm crabby, and I want to take a nap. You know when a 5-year-old wants to take a nap, there's something wrong, right? And so I'm hot, tired, and crabby, and I'm sitting in a room a little bit bigger than this in the back. My mom's crying really hard. I'm attempting to take off my shoes, and my mom's hitting me on my arm, and she's crying, saying, "Mijito, put your shoes back on, put your shoes back on," you know. I thought she was crying because I've taken my shoes off, you know. So my mom grabs my little shoes, ties them really tight on my feet, and this, like, my brain turned on right here because my mom was crying so hard, you know. We walk all the way up to the front of this room. The whole time we're walking, you should see yearbook photos I get sometimes like this. Our amazing speaker, Ray Lozano, you know. So if you're gonna take a photo, I'm ready. So we're walking up the front of this room, and the whole time my mom's walking up the front of this room, she's crying, and she's saying, "He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Don't do this. He's a good boy." You know, and she's crying. Get to the front of this room. There's a little wooden fence in the front of this room. I put my little arms on this wooden fence. I'm looking up at my mom, who's crying really hard, and she keeps saying, "He's a good boy. He's a good boy." No idea what my mom's talking about. I turn and I look, and when I look, I see my brother, 22-year-old brother. Orange jumpsuit, handcuffs, chain around his waist, leg irons on his feet, back of his jumpsuit, it says County of San Diego. What my brother did, starting at age 18 to age 22, is he would walk across the border from San Diego into Tijuana, purchase heroin, figure out some way to get it back across the border, and that was his job. Finally, he got busted, and now he's standing in front of a judge, and my mom is crying. You guys, do you think judges care about moms crying? They do not. Do not. And so my mom's crying, my brother's standing there looking at this judge. The judge sentences my brother to go to a federal penitentiary because he crossed the border. He tells him to turn and look at mom, and as soon as he turns and looks at mom, my brother starts crying really hard. Of course he does. He's going away for a long time. Sheriff grabs my brother, walks him over to mom, unclips his handcuffs, puts his arms around mom, hugs mom, and he says, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. That's all he said. Mom's hugging him, saying, I love you, you're a good boy, I love you. Then the sheriff grabbed him, pulled him off mom, and pushed him down on me. And I actually believe my 22-year-old brother saved my life at that point. Gave me a kiss on the cheek, and he said, little brother, don't do drugs, man. Drugs are bad, don't do drugs. And off my 22-year-old brother goes to federal penitentiary. First memory. My other brother used to be a drinker and a fighter. Got in a fight with my dad. My dad kicked him out of the house. My dad was a drinker and a fighter. Every party that we ever had started off really nice. Somewhere around 11:30 or so, my dad would get into a fight. Have you guys seen people like that? Drink and fight, yeah. My sister's done so much meth in her life. She used to run drugs from El Paso, Texas, up to Chicago, New York, Miami, all over the place. And so my sister was a drug trafficker as well. My mom was the weird kind of alcoholic. I don't want to say weird. My mom was the alcoholic that was kind of ashamed of her alcoholism. Who's seen these people? Audience participation. The people that drink, they get drunk, but they try to act like they're not drunk. Who's seen these people? Okay, yeah, pretty much everybody. Yeah, that was my mom. I remember coming home and, my mom would be in the kitchen walking backwards in the house like, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. I'm like, Mom, you're not okay. You're walking like Michael Jackson right now. You're not doing good, But my mom had, all those little secret recipes that alcoholic moms have, stuff like margarita meatloaf and tequila tacos, in the morning she's eating Corona Cheerios because they're magically delicious, And so I realized I never brought my friends over for dinner because my friends would leave with a buzz, My friends would be like, dude, can your mom drive us home? And I'd be like, no, look at the woman, She just had a 6-pack of burritos. She's not going anywhere, And so it was just crazy growing up in this house. Everybody's doing really well now, and all that. But it was just crazy growing up in this house. And I remember as a kid sitting on the curb while the police are going through our house. And I remember thinking, why do people do drugs? And it just went through my brain. And I remember, my brother saying, don't do drugs. And it just kind of clicked right there as probably like 6.5 years old. And I thought, I don't think I want to do drugs. But I had to have that answer. I had to find out the why question. Why does my dad drink? My dad's super nice. Why does he drink and then he fights? And everybody I would ask would say the same thing. It's because of alcohol. Yeah, I know it's because of alcohol, but what is the mechanism inside the brain that takes place? Why is my mom ashamed of her alcoholism? Why did my sister, as she was doing meth, see her teeth falling out, her skin getting bad, having guns held her head, and why did she continue to do it? And I had to have an answer for all these questions. So, do you remember back, people that are my age, remember when you had to go to the library and actually look through cards?
Yes.
Remember that? Or the microfiche, remember when that came out? We're like, oh my gosh, this is, fantastic, right? And so a whole newspaper on a little tiny card. And so I did my very first report on alcohol back in school, high school, as a junior in high school, and it wasn't supposed to be that type of report, a verbal report, and it was just a 3-panel thing, what happens when people drink, and the teacher loved it. And it's crazy because I like to be the class clown a little bit, and so it's amazing how it's all turned into this amazing career where I just go out and talk to kids about drugs and alcohol. So tonight we're going to be talking about vaping. I'm going to make it super easy for you to understand, super easy for you to walk out this door and be able to present the same exact information. Make sense? Don't be afraid to ask questions.